Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Forging Indestructible Self-Discipline podcast. I'm your host, John Fontenot, and today we're going to talk about consistency over perfection. Perfectionism is often celebrated in society, with many people believing that the pursuit of flawlessness is the key to success. However, the relentless drive to be perfect can actually be one of the biggest obstacles to personal growth and achievement. Perfectionism can paralyze you, make you procrastinate, and prevent you from making consistent progress. The truth is, the path to success and mastery is paved with imperfections, mistakes, and constant refinement, not perfection. As mentioned earlier, one of the most destructive aspects of perfectionism is its strong connection to procrastination. When you demand perfection from yourself, every task becomes an enormous pressure. You fear that if you start something and it doesn't turn out perfectly, you failed. So, instead of starting, you delay, sometimes indefinitely, because you feel overwhelmed by the high standard you've set. Perfectionists often have a deep fear of making mistakes or producing something that's not up to their standards. This fear creates a barrier to even beginning a project or task because of the belief that the outcome needs to be flawless. As a result, instead of acting, you overthink, postpone, which leads to missed deadlines, reduced productivity, and a sense of frustration. Additionally, perfectionism often breeds overthinking, which only worsens procrastination. You may spend more time worrying about how to start or make something perfect rather than simply diving in and doing the work. This cycle of rumination leaves you stuck in an analysis paralysis, preventing you from ever moving forward. When perfectionism takes hold, the focus shifts to flawlessness, which can be a major hindrance to progress. The truth is, consistency and steady effort are far more valuable than aiming for perfection. It's the daily habits and regular practice that lead to improvement and results. Making small, consistent progress toward a goal is what ultimately leads to success. It's not about completing everything flawlessly in one go, but about showing up every day and putting in the work. Over time, consistency compounds, and the small efforts add up to remarkable results. For example, if you're trying to get in shape, it's better to work out 3 times a week for months than to try and complete an impossible workout routine once and then abandon it altogether because it didn't meet your high standards. Consistency ensures that progress is happening, no matter how imperfect the individual steps are. Another problem is that perfectionism can stifle creativity because it places too much focus on avoiding mistakes. It prevents you from trying new things, taking risks, and experimenting. Innovation and creativity often come from trial and error, from making mistakes and learning from them. Aiming for perfection stifles this process and keeps you stuck in a cycle of inaction. A great example of this is in the world of art or writing. Many successful creators did not achieve greatness on their first try. They made drafts, they edited, they messed up, and they kept moving forward. Embracing imperfection allows you to try new approaches, discover what works, and make necessary adjustments along the way. Ultimately, the path to sustained effort and progress is not about being hard on yourself or striving for an unattainable standard of perfection. It's about practicing self-compassion, understanding that you will make mistakes, and forgiving yourself when things don't go as planned. Self-compassion helps you stay motivated, resilient, and focused, even in the face of setbacks. Self-compassion also allows you to reframe mistakes as part of the learning and growth process. Rather than feeling defeated when things go wrong, self-compassion helps you see these moments as opportunities to learn, adapt, and improve. This mindset helps to reduce anxiety and the fear of imperfection, making it easier to keep going when faced with setbacks. For instance, if you didn't achieve a goal you set for yourself, instead of beating yourself up, Self-compassion allows you to acknowledge the effort you put in and recognize that mistakes are part of the journey. You can say to yourself, "It didn't work out this time, but I'll learn from this and keep trying." Self-compassion helps to ease the pressure of being perfect and replaces it with a sense of kindness towards yourself. When you let go of the unrealistic expectation of flawlessness, you create a healthier and more sustainable path toward progress. Self-compassion nurtures your well-being and prevents burnout because it encourages you to treat yourself with care and patience rather than demanding impossible standards. By accepting imperfection and embracing self-compassion, you build resilience. Instead of getting discouraged and quitting when you face a challenge, you learn to bounce back and keep going. This resilience is what ultimately allows you to stay disciplined and focused on your long-term goals. You stop seeing failures as signs of inadequacy and start viewing them as opportunities for growth and improvement. If you find yourself caught in the trap of perfectionism, here are a few practical strategies to help you break free and make progress. First, set realistic expectations. Acknowledge that perfection is an unrealistic and unnecessary standard. Focus on doing your best and creating quality work, but understand that perfection is neither achievable nor required for progress. Next, focus on progress, not perfection. Shift your mindset to focus on progress and effort rather than flawless results. Celebrate small wins, milestones, and the steps you're taking toward your goals. Set deadlines for yourself. Give yourself clear deadlines for completing tasks. Perfectionists tend to procrastinate because they want to keep refining things endlessly. Having a deadline forces you to finish and move on to the next task. Also, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you make mistakes. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer a friend in the same situation. Remember that mistakes are part of learning. And finally, allow imperfection in your work. Give yourself permission to create and work imperfectly. In the process of making something, embrace mistakes as opportunities to learn rather than viewing them as failures. Overall, perfectionism, while it may seem like a noble pursuit, often leads to stagnation rather than progress. It feeds procrastination, stifles creativity, and creates unnecessary pressure, all of which undermine discipline and productivity. By focusing on consistency, embracing self-compassion, and reframing mistakes as growth opportunities, you can break free from the perfectionist mindset and make sustainable progress toward your goals. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making continuous, imperfect efforts toward improvement. And that is how real success is achieved. I want to thank you for listening. This has been the Forging Indestructible Self-Discipline podcast. I'm your host, John Fontenot. We'll see you again next week.